Welcome everyone to an exclusive look at the announcement of the Silverscreen pack, and Frontier has cooked. I was lucky enough to spend my time last week with them having an exclusive look at 45 minutes plus of this wonderful pack. You can see over here the trailer is made of and all the rides and all the bits that's in it. And yes, we're getting some stuff from last Planet Coaster, so that is why the price is a little lower, but nevertheless Frontier has cooked again. Really, trust me, it's absolutely amazing. And you can see the trailer playing in the background already. That's been already the wonderful trailer. We're jumping right in. Let me get some facts out of the way first of all. So this pack is going to be $11.99 in pound or $14.99 equally in euro or dollar. You are going to receive a pack with over 600 scenery pieces and 7 rides. However, I must say that 2 of the rides and about 300 pieces of the pack will be returning ones from the beloved Studios pack in the first game. So I'll get to that at the end of the video. Just so you know, I'm aware of that we're getting 2 things from the old game. Yes, you have to pay for them again technically, because, well, let's talk about that. You don't really need to. But I want to spend some time on this frame alone over here. So again, we've had the chance to really look at this park in very close. Frontier has done a fantastic job this time around again to showcase. And I think Rich, who's building the parks by now, he's always the one now presenting these things. It's the same one you do see all the gameplay reveals on, and he's become so good at these things that even I start to become jealous. Like, these parks are very well put together, and I'm like, you know, Frontier has to release them at some point to us at the beginning. You can see this wonderful cinema here in the background, and yes, there is actually a cinema in here. Funny enough, the 4th wall is the beloved DANSE Macabre, or that intimate kind of multi-dimension platform flat ride thingy. The rides in here, the choices are very damn good, but also the pack itself is a very good one. I'll get to that now. So, you want to see the rides? We need to talk about the rides. I'll do that in detail, but we need to spend some time on the scenery. You can see over here, this is basically the same kind of tile set over here. There's a tile wall. You can see down here with these kind of green golden elements, how they're done. And you can also see this with white and, what's that, ivory color kind of thing. Very nicely done. I am absolutely in love with that. That is, by the way, also our new wonderful entertainer, and I forgot the name again. Let me double check the name to see that. So this is the Colonel Butterworth. Colonel Butterworth, our wonderful new entertainer. That's not the one, obviously, that's the statue of himself, but it's very nice. We also get a lot of these incredibly nicely done movie posters. They are inspired by real world movie posters, and are some really good ones. You can immediately tell what they're referring to. I love that. In general, they have stressed the in-game brands quite a lot more this time around. You can see the water tower over here being King Coaster. Funnily enough, there's another one for Queen Coaster as well, or Queen Splash she's called. And it's, yeah, I genuinely believe this is so good in general, how they're getting better and better at selling these in-game brands, and I love that. It's really building the brand of Planet. I really hope that they're getting more and more into that also with Planet Zoo. But you can see there are a lot of pieces from the Art Deco set. So we're getting 2 sets. The one set is the Studios pack, obviously, from the first game, brought over with a lot more flexi-color options and potentially also increased and better textures. I don't know 100%. It looked a lot better in-game, though just at daytime or half daytime. There's something we have to talk about at the end of the video as well. But yeah, keep that in mind. The price, my rating, and also some little quirks here and there we have to talk about at the end. It's going to be important, but I'm so excited, guys. I have to contain myself over here. Now, the pack itself comes with a lot of great pieces. There's a lot of additions to the plaster arrangement that we have in the game. They said that to make that quite obvious at the beginning. You get a lot of cool new pieces, some really nice Art Deco 60s, 70s kind of style stuff. These window pieces over here, all you can see are brand new. They can be lit or non-lit, and you can even put them to daytime, nighttime, how you wish. And if they are put to non-lit, they return to their glowiness or glossiness, I should say, how a normal window looks like. And this glossiness is going to be gone when they're on and activated. So at nighttime, time, you get this kind of cool effect as if something is in there. So there's a bit of depth coming on. Really nice scenery pieces. Very versatile as it seemed, and a very, very good choice for a pack that adds a lot to the genericness of a theme park build, but yet gives you enough creative freedom to play around with the set to build art deco and all kind of other stuff, and you can imagine that this is going to be the Googie Town, and was also part of the reason that I went back to my Googie Town. It was planned anyways. However, this pack, when it was announced to us as a behind the scenes event, and we got the name of it, I was already, okay, hold on for a second, you may wait to dress up your buildings and stuff until you know what's coming. And so that was a very good call of mine to do that, because this will change a little bit how we approach that. But let's move on a little bit, because there's a lot more to talk about. So as I said, scenery, really nice. We also get these kind of cool cards over here that you can put over the brand new shops that came, or like stands, I should say, that came with the free update. So really cool stuff. And yeah, the music you hear in the background, by the way, also the in-game music. I love the fact Frontier is going to provide us always with the music. That's the one horror one over here, but the rest is really like fantastical kind of vibey. There's Colonel Butterworth this time around, and you can also see the cars over here. These are the models that we get for the brand new car ride, and I'll get to the right. This is basically test track from Disney World. A brilliant ride, if you ask me. I really would have loved to have that in the first game as well, but here we go. And here you can see some of the other screen posters. That one on the left-hand side with the shark is very obvious where this is gonna go. Really love that. It's so good. So let's go on, because we want to see some of the rides in here. So first things first, this is a beautiful new flat ride. I'm not entirely sure how the name of this thing is in game, but it's such a generic kind of incredible. Oh, it's called the ground control, by the way. I'm checking my notes over here. The ground control is such a fan favorite, I must say. You can literally do, like, at least I have already like 4 to 5 variants of the real world examples I have in mind, starting from Dumbo's ride and so on, that are exactly the same. You can dress them up as you wish. It's such a generic one we've needed for such a long time. It also seems to have like a rather small footprint. Big fan of it, and you can see a lot of these returning spotlights, by the way, and light heads and stuff that is coming back as well. Loving the fence down here as well. Loving these like globe kind of pieces. There's a lot to love about in this pack. Going on with, I at this moment I chuckled in joy, because, you know, I'm German. Phantasialand is one of my favorite parks because it's also so close, and I have not expected them to integrate the Vekoma New Gen Flyer, which literally just exists, at least as I know, in Phantasialand. I think that is the only one built so far. I'm not sure if there's another one in planning, but that is the one we have in Germany. It's a fantastic ride. I just ride it ever so slightly below Terron, at least for the German rides I know of, but it's such a unique ride, and yes, we are getting the full kind of great transition for the station. They have realized that in a fantastic way. Here you can see they're coming from the dark ride section, sitting on the side. And oh, by the way, if you are not from Germany and you've not had the luck to go on that one, this is a very unique boarding station. So basically, you're getting to seat yourself down, as you can tell here in the background, in an upright position, and then there is like a dark ride section where you stay in this position, and then just before the launch, the ride transitions into that flying position, as you can tell over here. So if I keep that playing for a brief moment, you can see this is where the whole ride just transitions over, and then you get that launched Vekoma Flyer. So we get our first real launched flying coaster in the game, and it's just the new one. It's brilliant. I love it, and I'm in general just so happy that this ride made it to the game. I've not expected it to be in this pack, not at all. So I'm equally happy. So that is insane, and the insanity continues with the next one. This is obviously the fourth wall, how it's called in game. This is the DANSE Macabre, and this is the Intermin spinning. How's that thing exactly called? Where is my calendar, by the way, when I need it? I have cleaned up my room and I have not put this back. I have the Intermin sponsored this to me. I have this Intermin calendar, and I remember that DANSE Macabre as a ride with all the information is on that calendar. I just can't seem to find it right now. I'm sorry, but it's definitely the ride that we have. So really, really cool. I can't wait to see where this is going and what you can do with it. They showed it in game quite a lot. You can do various kind of settings, and you can even sync music and stuff to it and light shows. They've shown how they done it in game. It's really cool. I think one of my favorite type of flat rides now in game. In general, I think we've got so many modern day flat rides that offer a lot more possibility to theme them and to integrate them well into your park. I've got some really cool ideas how to deal with this thing, and yeah, I mean, this thing is cool because like everything can tilt and turn and rotate, and makes it a very unique ride and a very modern one that everyone wants to have anyway. So really, really, really appreciate that getting into the game. As you can tell, this is also very nicely done here with that sunken area where like the hydraulic controls go, and then we get a look at what all the returning stuff looks like. So we're getting our Studios tour back, which is exactly the one from the first game, and also a lot of the pieces, well, basically all of the pieces from the first pack. The wonderful Studios DLC from back in the day is returning. Another ride that is returning is the in-game cinematic cam. I'm joking. It's not. It's the Remotion, a robo-arm kind of ride that makes you spin in various directions. And what many people will be very happy about is that with this thing, these kind of spherical screens are coming back. Like if you remember, this ride came back in the day with these kind of really cool 360 kind of half dome, I want to call that, screens where you can put these arms in, and then these things can rotate with you, so it feels almost like you're completely in that kind of thing. I feel like there's like a Harry Potter ride there's also going, that's that thing based off of. Yeah, I'm just really, really happy that this is coming back. It's a simulator ride in one way or the other to say, so it's really, really cool. I am like really happy that we have this thing again. I use this all the time for cinematic camera reviews, and I will be doing that again because it is just so feasible and also so cool and so flexible to do some really nice stuff with the camera. But we end up with the next one, and that my friends is so good. It is so good. It's the slot car, as it's called. And this is obviously the one Test Track has. It is really cool. They showed that in game as well. You can set the speed on various track elements. You've got two different types of track. The one track is a very blank one. You can style up the way you want, or it comes with what you can see on screen right now. This really cool like railings and track rails and stuff, giving that this extreme vibe that you have. These two are not one ride, by the way. They are two separate rides synced to each other, and you can change the car style. They have this kind of more modern one that lets you style this thing a little more, or you go with this kind of retro car, which you can also style. And I'm also really happy that we get these things as in-game pieces this time around right away, because we haven't had that many vehicles in the game anyways, and I'm really happy that they're giving this to us. So that is a really, really cool ride. It obviously is on the bigger side. Like if you want to put this thing in, it is quite enormous in demand for what the size is, but it is definitely something unique for your parks to put in, and an attraction we haven't had so far in the game. Really, really, really cool. I am in love with it, and you're getting, as you can see, this is the, by the way, this is the non-style water tower, if you will. As I said, there is going to be two water towers with King, Coaster, and Queen Splash, but there's also this generic one without any of those two. We're getting some of these signs back from the first game. We're getting basically all the pieces from the first studio pack back, which is really damn cool. And then this is the last shot, and of course, as you can tell over here, we're getting the cinema, and the cinema is also pretty cool. You're getting a very, very, very vanilla piece. So basically what the flat ride looks like is just the seating over here and that screen. Everything else around, you can see over here, is pretty much built by someone else. It's not part of the ride itself. So you can dress this up. You could technically even put a show in front of it and don't even use the screen. It's not necessary. You can actually just sync the show to the ride if you want to, and then you basically have like a show going on in front of it, and the people are seated as in a show. You could even put two next to each other and sync the show somehow in a way that could work. So really damn happy about this. A very fantastic way of doing this. Oh, and by the way, as you can see, all these kind of glimpses of what looks like projections. There is also a new type of projection. How do you call that? These things are projection casting light sources, projectors, basically, and you can select from various in-game shapes. They do project on the ground to make it really look like in cinema studios or so. They didn't really say anything about customizability, so I'm not entirely sure if we could put our own shapes in. At least I'm sure that you wouldn't be able to do that on console, but on PC I'm not aware, so hopefully you will be. That would be very nice to have. But yeah, in general, this pack screams absolute hit to me, because it seems to be a very good one, and it's gonna be available already in a couple of days, in just a week's time, and we have August 19th with the update on this one. Now, let me just keep the trailer playing a little bit for my verdict, because I have a couple of things to say. So, first things first, is it as good as the Parades DLC? Well, not really, but it's not far off. Am I sad that there are two returning ones in here and one returning theme? Well, kind of, but then again, I'm not. And I think even more than that, this is a hint for the future, and I think it's a very good hint. Now, the Parades pack was very special because it brought something into the game that is new and unique, which is obviously the entertainment with parades and the entire parade mechanic, but it also brought us 6 other very cool rides, unique rides, and 2 unique themes. That is fantastic and obviously worth the price we've had back in the day. Now, this pack is priced significantly lower, and by significantly lower, I mean straight up €4. And these €4, or €3 that is, equals obviously the part of the first DLC. It's not the full DLC, because obviously there are 3 rides missing that we've had in the first studio pack in the first game. Okay, I'm happy I double-checked, because I actually fooled myself. To be honest, my verdict is getting even more positive now. I thought we also had a coaster in the Studios DLC, but we didn't. It just came with the Horror Heights, that Tower of Terror kind of style. It's not Tower of Terror, it's a different type of ride, but I think it's a Hollywood Tower. Whatever. A flat ride for a big kind of freefall that was in the first Studio Pack is not part of it. But other than that, you get everything from the Studios Pack in the first game, plus all the new stuff, including that brand new Vekoma, which has a unique station to it, this fan favorite Intamin kind of crazy flat ride, and we are getting also obviously a cinema and a pretty damn good flat ride for kids and a fan favorite in that sense, and the track ride, kind of test track ride. I'm stoked. I think the quality of the rides, the choice of the rides and so on, is beyond me. It is just really good, and I am more than happy about these things. Now, what does this hint at for the future? Well, my friends, I think for the amount of time that has been in between, it's pretty significant. So we've had the huge Parades DLC that obviously had a lot of work go into it, maybe took a bit more time to get it right, and now we get this pack over here, which if you consider taking out the Studios DLC from it and just rate the pack as it stands without the 2 rides and the scenery, it will be an Art Deco kind of movie screen pack with 5 fantastic ride choices to be put in. I would rate that very high amongst the top of the 5 ride plus scenery themes we've gotten for Planet Coaster. Very nice one. Choice great, a great, wonderful Art Deco set, a really cool entertainer, and worth the money. Totally true. Now, even getting the Studios DLC back and basically correcting a mistake they did with the Sorcery pack back in the day, I think people will be and should be very happy. So what do I mean by that mistake? Everyone, like literally everyone, has flooded my comments back in the day that the Sorcery pack is brilliant, is nice, cool rides, blah blah blah, yada yada. However, they all wanted the Spooky pack back. If they would have just done the same like they did over here, bring back the Spooky pack, take two things from the spooky pack back in the day. I don't even know what was in the spooky pack as rides. Everything blurs together. But just taking two cool things from that plus the scenery, people would have been over the moon with it. They would have been really, really happy. So if you ask me, Frontier, go ahead, do something like that for the future. Next up, do a Halloween pack, whatever, a Halloween theme with 5 fantastic rides, stuff like that, and just bring back the horror sets, whatever, spooky packs, I don't care. Do the same with an adventurous theme next time around, bring 2 things from the adventure pack back. This would be a fair way of giving us the DLCs back. But also, in all honesty, you could also separate that from each other and then resell the DLC for half of it or even less. I do know why they do this, because it kind of makes you get this old pack back by purchasing the new one. It's kind of clever, to be honest, and it's super fairly priced. Like it honestly, the price is absolutely fair. And I don't even think they would charge less if these things would be out of it. So essentially, you're getting 80% of the studio's DLC from Planet Coaster 1 for free. I guess that's the way how you phrase that. Now, other than that, there are still some quirks I see about this pack. Again, the choice of rides and so on is fantastic. However, I think it's a huge missed opportunity to put in a suspended dark ride. I talked about that for so long that I wanted to see a suspended dark ride. That is definitely something I would have loved to see in here. Which ride would I exchange, or would I change any of the rides? Not necessarily. I would even go and say, you know what, I don't need the remotion for that if I need to choose one to go. But other than that, I really would have loved some suspended dark ride. And as we have dipped our toes and our future into entertainment, not knowing if, for example, the cinema goes into the entertainment era, whatever, shows or like a backlot tour with people going to do a tour by foot or so, like really adding to the entertainment element of the game would have been a great opportunity right now. So, and give me these 4 or 5 more minutes I need over here, because I think it's very important to talk about that. I'll make a dedicated video about that in the coming days, but I think Frontier has found their groove back with this game. The recent player counts, as I've showed lastly, is very promising. The game has had a substantial growth in player count over the last 2 months since the Parade pack, and this pack should definitely bring back even more people, or at least those who decided to come back, make them stay for even longer. So that makes me very happy. Me as a creator, it makes me very happy, because it's such a good pack that sparks my creativity even more than it also is. But there's a catch. If you ask me, for now, I have more than enough for the classic kind of theme park vibe going on. I would love if Frontier, for the next update, would completely neglect the, let's say, classic Disney-esque theme park era and go into what they have brought to the game, water parks and entertainment. Those are the 2 new areas that really need to be fulfilled. If I need to draw like a comparison to Planet Zoo 2, for example, it's a bit like as if they have showcased birds and aquatics and then moved on to deliver 2 incredible packs for terrestrial animals, and then completely forgot about birds and aquatics. That's a bit like how it feels. So please, Frontier, for the next pack, and by any means, that shouldn't make this pack any worse. I think all of the rides were needed, and the theme is needed, so all good, but I really would love to see a new pack focusing on these 2 areas, like water parks especially, but also the entertainment tab. And I think there's a lot that could go into each other, so that's my verdict of the announcement. It's a bit of a longer video, but I am genuinely hyped. I was very surprised that they're getting out with a new DLC, and I didn't really expect much, if I'm all honest with you, because the short amount of time between the Parades DLC and that one, and I went with a big smile out of the behind-the-scenes event. Hold on. Before we go to the outro, I obviously also have some screenshots. They are not necessarily exciting because you've seen most of it already. You can see a bit more in detail, but I didn't want to leave them out. However, they offer me the chance to talk about one negative thing that is not related to the pack itself, but we got to talk about that because Frontier is most likely listening to this video, and so I have to place that again. Even though I have sent this numerous times already to them, I just want to make even more room for it. We'll get to that. But here you can see, oh god, my wonderful, beloved flying coaster, new gen Vekoma. And by the time I'm doing this part of the video, I have double checked, and yes, F.L.Y is the only standing new gen Vekoma flying launched coaster in the world as of now, and that means we are getting a super unique ride for this game. And Frontier is kind of known to put these things in that only exist once in the world. We have another wonderful look at the test track variant, the slot car in game from Movement Constructions, which I think is Disney Imagineering, if I'm not wrong. I might be wrong here because I'm not entirely sure if it is, but yeah, we've got that one. And we have the wonderful Intamin multi-dimension kind of whatever flat ride. I have to stay here for a moment because unfortunately this is the one image that got me talking about that one negative thing I was earlier mentioning, and this is the lighting, especially in dark areas. Don't get me wrong, I have always been a defender of the graphics of this game because I generally think they are for the most part really a lot better, and now even comparing them to Planet Zoo 2, which I was fearing is going to look much better than Planet Coaster 2, which it doesn't, because Planet Coaster 2 just looked really cool, and Frontier seems to have done a couple of really cool upgrades along the way. What they haven't done is they haven't integrated casting shadow casting from in-game light sources, and especially now with the pack that brings in these wonderful new, or not new, but returning light projector thingies with the volumetric light beams. This would have been the moment where I would have expected them maybe to do exactly this and activate these shadows. I double checked how it's done in Jurassic World Evolution 3 because this game does feature it. You can even enable or disable this from numerous light sources, and not every in-game light, but a lot of in-game lights, especially with like these volumetric kind of beams, they have the ability to create shadows. Like what happens is if they face their light on a certain in-game piece, this piece will create a dynamic real shadow. And yeah, especially for dark ride types like that, it makes a tremendous difference if you look at this flat image or if there is actually real shadows in it, which yeah, kind of makes me sad, because this game looks so fantastic in like daylight. And the thing is, in daylight, you would even also not have shadows in indoor sections. That means also dark rides will always suffer from the same issue. And especially if you do dark rides, you do see that, which is kind of annoying, because if you have like a wall that separates, let's say, two different rooms from each other, and you place some lights close to a wall, this light will still be part of the other room as well, which is super annoying because that's not how it would be realistically, but that is because they're not casting any shadows. And I genuinely hope they're fixing this and they put in an option in the menu to activate and deactivate, because most likely this is performance related, why it's not in, but for me personally it's a must. And if it's just for cinematics and I record this just for cinematics, hey, I'm also in for that. But oh my god, I need these shadows to be in the game. Anyways, we get a wonderful new look at this very standard flat ride. Oh, I love the texture here, by the way. That is so cool. Looks so like a little bit older as well. That's the ground control. For me personally, a fantastic ride. I love that. Then we get a wonderful look at the cinema, including our friend, the wonderful, wonderful new entertainer. I like that one quite a lot. This is Colonel Butterworth. Yeah, I mean, really, really cool. Also, I'm very happy we get these cars as individual pieces. That is so cool as well. And then we get this tour element. Again, I don't need to talk too much about this. This is very much the exact tour from the first game. However, I want to join these wonderful poses again. As I said, they have been, as a quote, loosely inspired by real-life movie posters. I guess you can phrase that this way. You could do it the other way as well, but, you know, we'll get that. There are also some others over here. It's just... yeah, Galpizilla is a good one. Yeah, anyways, we're getting into the next one, Remotion. Again, that might be the one that I would replace if needed. It's a fairly nice ride. Very nice that it's returning to the game with a lot of cool functionalities. But again, my usage will be 90% a cinematic camera, if you ask me. So yeah, yet another look at the Art Deco set with all the cars and stuff that you get as individual pieces. And there's yet another very cool poster, the Meals Hass. Oh, not sure how you pronounce that, but yeah, they had a lot of fun with it. This just kind of showcases the quality. And our main plaza, where people use that spot over here to take some images. And did I talk about the missing shadows? Look at this picture. Look at how flat it looks at times. It genuinely, if you zoom out a little bit and would loosen the quality a little bit, that is Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 kind of level of lighting. And that is what gets me a little bit like, yeah, why? Because the rest looks so good. Well, anyways. We got another one shot at the studios tour and the studios per se, and here you can see this is exactly what you'd expect this to be. It is the studios pack returning. I'm generally very happy about this. That is the last picture I have to show it to you. I am, as I said, very, very happy. But there's already quite a good outro I have recorded, so I'm gonna hand you over from the editing room with these images back to the real-time Rudi, I would say, who's going to do a better outro than I can right now. So well, let's cut over. It's like in movies, cut! I think it's an epic DLC bundle. There's nothing you can do wrong with purchasing this one. You could argue and discuss about individual rides if you want them or not, all fair. But it's a genuinely great pack, great theme, great rides, studios pack back in it. There's nothing I could argue it's. But I still would rate it under the or below the Parades pack, but just ever so slightly, because the Parades pack for me was almost perfect. So yeah, genuinely very happy. Frontier, big props. Thumbs up from the camel. I hope you guys are as excited as I am. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about all the topics we talked about, and if you like the rides or if you would have loved a replacement for any of those ones, let me know in the comments. Thank you so much. Have a great time, and bye.